Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV for another side quest episode. We begin here in Labyrinthos with this distracted archivist. Lost little troll. Oh dearie me! Hello, can I help you? My sweetest Shaggles, one of the Archeion's precious samples has fled. Uh-huh. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? My apologies, I'm Noelle Tia, an archivist. The Archeion is home to various samples collected from all across the star, and one such specimen has just escaped. A young troll, to be specific. Oh, I hope he hasn't been set upon by the local predators. Listen, I promise to compensate you, so could you please help me retrieve the specimen? My thanks. I will continue my search in this area. I'd like you to check the 33rd facet. Once you had a comprehensive look about, please meet me at the Archeion to report your findings. No. You see no troll, great or small, perhaps a bit further in. The errant troll is nowhere to be seen. Well, Tia may have had better luck. I see. I was unable to find the specimen either. However, I did meet someone who claimed to have seen it in Monvale Forest. Let us head there and see if we can track it down. Yes, there can be no doubt. These are Shaggles' footprints. I have uncovered the specimen's trail. It should be close. If you find it under threat from the local fauna, you may dispatch its assailants. Oh no, poor Shaggles has been set upon by trolls! Trolls! Quick, to the rescue! The troll is attacked by trolls, yeah? We must tend to Shaggles. Ow. That was loud. Oh, I'm so glad you're unharmed. You're all safe now, come on. Let's go home, sweetie. buffoon. The Archeion is under threat. I must do something. You can talk? You can understand me. Uh-huh. Wait, are you able to communicate with him? Yeah. Incredible, I've never met someone with such a skill before. This bundle of joy was born in Labyrinthos. However, he was abandoned by his mother and in quite a state by the time we found him. He possesses remarkable intelligence for one of his kind. We elected to use him as part of a study into the effects of growing up in an artificial environment. I had seen him making gestures that indicated he had been reading the tomes here, but I thought he was just copying those around him. To think he actually understands speech? Oh, I do wonder exactly why you are able to understand him and I am not. I'm sort of special. Really? What I wouldn't give to understand him too. You possess the echo, don't you? I find it difficult to the way your kind do, but I suppose it makes sense that you understand my general sentiments. I happen to learn of said power from the tomes in the Archeion. Honestly, that buffoon over there is surrounded by a sea of knowledge, and he makes no effort to engage with it. Grrr. At any rate, I'm glad to finally have someone to talk to. As I was saying earlier, the Archeion is in grave danger. Some careless gleaner managed to bring woodworms in with them during a visit. If we leave them be, they are bound to cause irreparable damage to the materials at the facility. I tried my best to tell that buffoon, but it was no use. That's why I took a chance and went in search of some of my own kind to see if they would help. But you saw how that turned out. Well, what is he saying? He says we have a problem with woodworms? Oh, dearie me. Still, it was most courageous of him to try and solve the issue on his own. Now that we are aware of it, we need to sort out this pest problem at once. Would you mind helping out a little longer? You're the only one who can understand him after all, and he seems miles ahead of us in regard to the situation at hand. Sure. Your help is indispensable if we are to get Shaggles' advice on dealing with the infestation. Problematic pests. Allow me to explain a few things first. Staff of the Archeion regularly use alchemic pestilences to keep the place free of harmful gas. Unfortunately, the woodworm I found seemed to be entirely resistant to the type of pesticide employed at the facility. I skimmed a few tomes, including the New Eorzean Geographic, but I couldn't manage to identify the vile killing in the Archeion. I'm guessing it must be a new species. We won't get very far if we know nothing about the enemies, so I went ahead and captured one of the woodworms. You can try showing it to someone who knows more about this sort of thing than I do. I see. In that case, I think we'd best be served by a biologist at Mariel Agronomics, shall we? And because the elevator is not yet running, we have to go around. But I cut that out for you. I went ahead and told him everything. I have to admit that I hesitated to bring up Shaggles' role, though. Your troll showed me the woodworm sample, but the best I can do is confirm that I've never seen it before. I'd say your hypothesis that it's an undiscovered species is highly likely. In order to ascertain how to best deal with the insect, we would need to learn about its original habitat. Well, it found it clean on a Tafnarian tool used to make medicine that was recently brought to the Archeion. It was delivered by a rogue-getting gleaner. Let's go ask about it. Well, what are you waiting for then? To the Archeion? The troll truly speaks to you, doesn't it? Perhaps that woodworm is not the only new species in our midst. I wonder if I'll be able to talk to Shaggles someday too. I'd love to know what he thinks of me. That's the cleaner who delivered the tool. Let's ask her where she got it. Oh, that? I found it in Fafnir. To be more specific, at the alchemist's outpost, the Great Work. It was used by the first alchemists, they say, and there are few tools like it still extant. I spent days arguing my case before its owner agreed to hand it over. It's all coming together now. The woodworm was probably exposed to so many alchemic concoctions in that settlement that it developed a hardy resistance to substances like the pesticide. Let's waste no time in grrring the biologist about it. I feel like I've seen that little troll in the Archeion. Is it alright for him to be out and about like this? Well, circumstances have required us to set him free for a bit. And closely monitored, of course. Now, where did he go? He went back to the biologist. Oh my, we should make for Mariel Agronomics straight away then. If I didn't know better, I could have sworn that troll was talking to you. Go on, man. I suppose I should really return Shaggles to the Archeion soon. Oh, ignore me. I'm just thinking out loud. Well, that certainly makes a lot of sense in light of all that's happened thus far. I happen to know that the alchemic pesticide used in the Archeion was created in Fafnir, so it's hardly surprising that our woodworm friend has developed a resistance to it. Now, how shall we solve this conundrum? Pests be gone. It may not be the most inventive solution, but if we were to make an even stronger pesticide? But how? How, he asks. Assuming that's a yes, I need you to get your hands on a Luncheon Toad's poison gland. I'll take care of the rest. Oh my, despite their adorable name, those toads are not to be trifled with. Think you're up to it? The buffoon clearly isn't, so I'd say you are our only hope. Sure. I take it he skipped right to asking you for assistance. You find the toads roaming near Pneuma, I believe, so take care now. Remember, those toads would just as soon have you for Luncheon. Well, these toads are really quite delicious once you extract the poison gland. Just a friendly tip. Oh, judging by the smell, I think it's safe to assume you got what I asked for. Allow me to tuck that away before we all pass out from the stench. Out of smell, out of mind, and now I've got all I need to make one of the most potent pesticides out there. Hold on just a moment. Director? What exactly are you making here, and why does it smell like the inside of a toad? And you, Noelle Letier, I believe your job requires you to bring any missing specimens back to the Archeion, not take them on a tour of a realm. Please, allow me to explain. I see why you feel such drastic action is needed. However, I cannot permit you to release such a potent pesticide inside my Archeion. It could damage that which is housed within. There's no telling how it might affect Labyrinthos' environment once the fumes inevitably escape the building. Whilst the pesticide we currently use may be on the weaker side, but is also one of its strengths. It has a negligible impact on the environment. You clearly haven't given your plan much thought. If not, I shall come up with a solution in due course. For now, let us return the specimen to the Archeion. There's little to be gained by allowing a troll to rummage on such matters, no matter how odd it may be. Ah, me another chance. I can't sit back and watch those marvelous books be destroyed. Is it addressing me? Yes. It asks for another chance. It doesn't want the books to be destroyed. It truly wishes to protect the tomes so strongly. Very well, in light of you having discovered the woodworm issue in the first place, I shall grant you one more chance to present a solution. Should you prove capable of ridding us of the infestation, I promise to cease treating you as a mere specimen. Assuming that you come up with a solution all on your own, of course, you are forbidden from consulting the researchers, understood? Oh, I'm so sorry you got dragged into this. It's all my fault for acting so rashly. Dream big. I worry that I won't be able to come up with a way to solve our problem. Let me go and think on my own for a bit. It's alright, you don't need to interpret for me. Even I can tell he's struggling with the weight of his task. You know, creatures like trolls need to perk up when someone pets them. Why don't you show Shaggles some affection? He might pretend not to like it at first, but trust me, he'll warm up to it soon enough. I can't come up with anything good. I'm just a little creature. Shaggles is down in the dumps. Perhaps petting him would help cheer him up. Pet. What are you doing? I'm not a dog. Honestly, what the was that? You know, I actually feel a bit better now. Good. It seems like he's back to his old self. Listen, Shaggles, if anyone can do this, it's you. I'd normally call him a fool and move on, but I'm the guy who nearly destroyed Labyrinthos' ecosystem by unleashing a super strength pesticide. If anyone's a fool, it's me. I know I'm forbidden from consulting the researchers, but I can ask you for advice, right? You must have fought your fair share of foes in your adventures. How do you take down the especially ones? I focus on the weaknesses. The woodworms do come from tropical climes, so their weakness would probably be freezing temperatures. But if we make it too cold in the Archeion, we'd risk exposing the books to frost damage when all the moisture in the air freezes. Wait, the air! Deprive them of the air they need to survive. I bet we could starve the worms of oxygen with a gas emitted when you pour hydrochloric acid on limestone. We could evacuate the staff and other living specimens, but it wouldn't damage the tomes or documents. We won't know if it'll work unless we let it go. In reality, I can get the acid, so I just need you to find some limestone. There's more than enough for the taking in the vertical facet. Meet us at the Archeion once you have it. I get the impression you've come up with a solution. Would you mind filling me in? Brilliant, though I'd best at least pretend to be looking after Shaggles while I fetch that acid. Please do get that stone in the meantime. Do you not find the 33rd facet to be a bit scary? I'm terrible with gloomy places like that. Everyone's out and we've got the asset as promised. Did you keep your end of the bargain? Basically sufficient limestone. Many girls. I'll be right back. And? I filled the test room with gas. Now we only need to wait and see if what happens. Uh-huh. You know, I've been on my own almost as long as I can remember. I do recall that I constantly questioned my parents, which is probably what led them to giving up on me altogether. The same intelligence, or belligerence, depending on who you are, saw me rescued and brought here. It made me interesting, I suppose. But I've only ever been treated as a specimen. You're the only person I've been able to have an actual conversation with. For the longest time, the Archeion's books were my only friends. They were both my loyal companions and my window from which I gazed upon the outer world. That's why I can't stand by and let them be destroyed. Naturally, I would love for my intelligence to be recognized so that I might become a research In my own right. But more than anything, I want to protect the Archeion. It worked. It actually worked. The pests are no more, the tomes look good as new. Well done. Your method is both effective and safe. We shall waste no time in using it to rid the entire facility of woodworms. As promised, you will no longer be treated as a mere specimen. From now on, you are an apprentice researcher. Thank heavens the Archeion will be safe once more. And allow me to thank you for everything. I couldn't have done it alone. My very first project as an apprentice will be to study how to produce sounds just like your kind do. After, if I want to be a researcher, I need to learn how to speak with people other than you. It's good to see Shaggles looking so pleased. Thank you for all you've done for us. But before you go, could you perhaps tell me what he thinks of me? He's rather disparaging. Is that so? But he's too adorable to be angry with. Come, let me pet you. And he runs away. See this, you buffoon? I'm no one's pet. No, come back. Huh. Okay, and with that we helped Shaggles save the Archeion, and they got a new research assistant, and that was this questline. Until next time, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.